Hey guys, this is Denise. I'm still waiting to see if anyone shows up. So I'm going to go ahead and wait a few more minutes before I start this live broadcast. This is my first time doing this, so yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Basically, I am going to be rehoming my little baby. She is a Regal jumping spider. I got her last night from PetSmart. And I thought she was too small to rehome, but turns out she is big enough for a new enclosure. So I will be making a brand new enclosure and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to try to invite a few more people and we will see how it goes. Until then, I will be quiet. So yeah, I'm still here. Let's see. Well, it looks like this is a one-person show. So I will go ahead and show you some of the things I am going to be using. And I will also have this stuff in the description. So if you decide you want to buy it, you will know where to go. So first thing you will need is moss. This is really nice moss. It is for decorating and it pulls apart. So that's definitely something that you want to think about. Some of the other things you will need, of course, is decorations. In this case, I have some really old stuff. A little three-legged horse I've had for I don't know how long. Now, this I'm not sure if I'm going to be using, but this is basically for little mice and hamsters. I'm going to see if I can connect this and they could just go in and you can see them. Um, some of the other things I have, of course, would be like these little palm trees, little tiny things that they can step on. And these are actually magnetic. So these are really nice to have, and I will go into detail for that. I have these little seashells and more moss, and I got a little teddy bear. This is a glass teddy bear. So there we go. Cute little teddy bear. I've had this since I was a baby. And of course, a little hide. And this one is also magnetic. And of course, I have some other greenery and even a little bobblehead, which I love to do this. It's fun. Um, and just some basic, like I said, greenery that you could just kind of stick in the ground. Okay, so let's get this show on the road, right? All right. I have some more decorations, but I'll go over them later. So this is basically a video where I'm going to explain the do's and don'ts of, what I believe would be good enclosures when it comes to Regal jumping spiders. And a lot of people would say, and even with tarantulas, I want to do this and I will be testing my theory out. But like I said, it just depends. I'll put this down a little bit. So this is basically the cage I'm going to be using. They don't need that much space. They are arboreal, so they do spend their time mostly up on the top. They don't go down unless they are hunting. So that's something that you want to go ahead and think about is that you will see them mostly on the top. So if you see them on the bottom, it's either because they're hunting a cricket or they're sick, dying. They don't live more than, I think, 1 to 3 years, depending upon what you get. So with that being said, let's start with the bottom. So this is the front, and the way I could always tell is because it has that little mid-circle thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I am actually using some fake grass for the bottom. I'm still going to use the moss, but that's something different. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on the bottom. I did put a little sticky thingies on the bottom just so it will stay down. Do not use any other stickies except for the M3s. Basically the ones you use for like picture frames and that kind of thing, because these actually have the pull-ups to where when you pull them up, they come off a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I have this in, I'm going to just push it down. And you want to push it down as much as possible. And there you go. Now you have a little green grass area. Really sweet, really. Once you do that, go ahead and connect your 3 little sides. And make sure you do this right, because when I first got these, I actually had the vents on the bottom and I couldn't connect them right. So you do have to make sure that you connect everything correctly. You don't want any escapes. Good things, bad things in terms of cages. If you're doing a jumping spider, make it high. So this is pretty well made. I mean, this can easily fit a full-grown, and and it's high enough for them to do something always good. And of course, we have the little bottom. Now, with these, you do have to be careful. This is one of the things I don't like about these. These little things, okay, they actually help connect. So there's a little hole. Let me see if I can, as you can see, this is what it looks like when it's not together. Oops, come on. And they are kind of easy and difficult at the same time. So these little holes right here is what you want to connect to these little sidebars here. And this will secure it. So I'm going to go ahead and secure it. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea how I'm going through this. It's just one of those things to where, you really have to kind of go with it. And my cat's trying to climb up on the table. So if you see this, it's the cat. Okay, so next, and one thing I like about these is that these come with these little, they're kind of like rubber bands, and they basically just go from one side, and just go all the way up to the other. See if I can get a close up for that. And as you can see, try to focus. It's not gonna. Okay, so there you go. This is how you keep it together. I like it this way, basically because you don't have to worry about them breaking, about it coming apart, the usual stuff. I do have one. I also have 2 tarantulas. I have a green bottle blue and a curly here. much bigger enclosures. The difference between using these and using other like put together stuff, titaniums, would be the fact that with them, you're basically using like little, and this is a bad example, but this is as close as I have right now. Um, Little like pen thingies, and they have a hole, and you have to kind of connect each side with a little thing you put into the hole, and then you want to put the ending to lock it in place. You want to go ahead and put it on the bottom. I could probably show you when I do my tarantula enclosures. So yeah, I'm probably going to be all over the place for this video because, like I said, no idea what I'm doing. So I will go through the do's and don'ts of buying a new home for your little baby. So this is pretty much put together now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the rubber rubber stoppers, so this does not fall apart on me. And these are really nice because they do not break ever. I've never had one broken on me, so it's always a good thing. You always want to make sure that you do the sides and the bottom. So that's pretty much all for this particular one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these sides and we're going to use moss. Now, I will say one thing. If you use moss, do not cover these little holes on the top, basically because these are the vents. And this is what they use to actually ventilate the whole cage. Not a good thing to cover them up. So yeah, don't do that. So I pretty much already have the moss that I'm going to be using out. This is what it looks like. And the one thing I really like with this is that I can pull it apart or I can shape it any way I want to have it match the cage. So, for instance, let me put this down some so you can see. Yeah, not gonna help. Fun. Okay, no. I'll just have to hold it up and hope that it works. Alright, so this right here is the back, and these are the sides, and that's the front, but it's open. So when using moss, because there's nothing used for ventilation, you can cover the whole back and not worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to push it in. And it doesn't have to be perfect right now. You just want it in the shape that you want to use it with. And then when you do the front, that's another thing. Use a can of soda, a full can of soda, and that helps it to push it out. I don't have a bottle with me or a can, so I'm just going to use the water bottle, and I'm just going to push it down. And basically all this does is make it so that it sticks to the back more. Another thing you can use, of course, I was going to put this little decoration in. I got this over at Goodwill. Unfortunately, it's too big for this enclosure. So I'm just going to use the back end, and I'm going to push it down. Like I said, that's mostly because I want it to be even, but at the same time, you want it to be shapened so it looks nice. So that's, oops, there we go. So that is what the back of the cage, and this keeps going out of focus for some reason. So there we go. Kind of go back. That's what it looks like for the back. And then we have, of course, the sides. So I'll go ahead, make sure, especially for the top, it actually is going to look really, really nice when it's done. Now, oops. And yeah, you do have to be careful because if you, especially if you have nails, these do kind of stretch, and that would not be good. So I am now going to do the bottom. Um, so I wasn't going to do the bottom with moss just because I do have the grass there. So normally, if you don't want to do the grass, you could take a moss and oops, go ahead and just smush it together. And you want to use, like I said, a can to kind of push it down. This does help to shape it. And normally, what I had before was I just put it on the bottom. So it would be where the grass is, and then you would have moss covering the top, back, and the bottom. But I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to stick to the top. And now we're going to put the decorations in. Before you do that, do the sides. So what you want to do, push this to the side. Get your cute little bag. This is, I believe, 7 ounces of moss. I have to double check. And I will put that in the description as well. Everything I use, this enclosure I did not get on Amazon. I got this at a pet store. But the other stuff, the other cages I will be using, definitely is going to be on Amazon or from Amazon. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, yeah, this one actually did come from Amazon. I'm mixing this one up with one of my other ones. I have so many of these; it's insane. Um, so what you want to do is just kind of take a handful and just kind of, as you can see, it does stretch. So this is what I mean when I say be careful. Um, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the cage over a little bit. And then I'm basically just going to kind of shape it, or at least get it all together so it's just one. And this is how you get it to fit, how you find out how much you actually need. So, oops, as you can see once again, and this stuff just loves to do that. So I think we actually have too much. So I'm just gonna pull apart this bottom piece. And I can always add this back to it if I need to. So there we go. Okay, now, when it comes to doing the sides, make sure, like I said, that you are not covering up the vents. You have the vents on one side and on the other. Once you do that, take your moss, fold it in half, the piece that you have in half, and start from underneath the vents and kind of figure out how much you need. I don't need this much, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull it apart. So, and yeah, this is fun to mess with. Okay, so fixed. fits the top a little bit. Put it on the side just so you can see exactly how much room you have. So if you do it on the sides, which I probably will, try not to put any on the bottom because you do have some, and you can just push it back as you go. You want to do the same on the sides. Do not touch the bottom. So I'm going to lay this on the side. Okay. Now, take your moss. Put this back up because it's not going to look. And I'm just going to take some more off because I just found out that this is still too much. You might want to do the sides first. You don't have to, of course, but it might be easier just to do the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can get this to actually work. Push it down. Like I said, take your water. Another thing you can do if it doesn't want to go down, and yeah, it's not going down for me, unfortunately. Take your spray bottle, take your moss, and just spray it off. Make it wet. Once you do that, just kind of use your hand or a soda can, something heavy. Even this actually came with a pack, and this is just dirt, and just kind of push it down. That way you can get it shaped the way that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this to shape the way I want. If not, I might not be able to do the sides. And if that's the case, you would have to kind of think of how you want to really do it. So I'm going to push it down. You do need to put a lot of pressure on it when you push it down, otherwise it's not going to stay. So I'm going to go ahead and do the top, work my way down slowly. So if you have a bigger cage, meaning on the sides, it's actually bigger than it in the front and bottom. As you can see, when I do it on the side, it's going down to the bottom. So I'm going to have to take more out, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. And I can always add more if I need to. And just kind of get an idea of how much you need. This is not working out like I want. So I'm still going to keep the little squirrel grass in there. I'm going to go ahead, just push this back. And I will keep the grass in there just because I think it looks really, really nice. But because it's not working out the way I am hoping, I'm going to go ahead, take my moss, and I'm going to put it on the bottom. And I'm just going to push it down until I can get it shaped the way that I want it. And what I mean by shaped is that it has to be down far enough so that it kind of covers the entire bottom. At the same time, you don't want to put too much because you don't want to overcrowd. You will be putting decorations in. So you kind of have to go with it. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to spray it because it's not paying attention to what I want it to do. And then I'm going to take something heavy, in this case, just a little creature soil pack and just push it down on the bottom as much as I can on both sides until it's down. Like I said, the main reason for that, and as you can see, there's a little piece coming out. You don't want to block anything that is going to be used to open or close the enclosure. That's a very, very bad thing. And as you can see, once again, the top, or the back, I should say, is enjoying making me suffer because it keeps coming off the back, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pat it down and pat it back. Okay, so it looks like that's as close as I'm going to get. And then what you want to do is just right the sides. That way, you don't have any like water on the side. This is something that a lot of people say to do, is to mist the entire cage once or twice a day. I don't do that, and I know a lot of people are going to get pissy about it. The thing is, when I have pets, I actually like to see them. And as you can see, I just got this little cage yesterday. This was actually a kit that I could buy at PetSmart, and has a little door that opens and closes, and it's not very good. But if you look on the sides and on the top, it looks cloudy, and that's because of water stains. So every time you mist, you're not, drying it off, you're just keeping it there. Eventually, you're not going to be able to see inside of your enclosures. If you can't see, you don't know what's going on. So that's never a good thing. So because this is such a small enclosure, I can't really do much in terms of decorating. So the good thing about jumping spiders is the fact that they don't need very much in order to be happy. Few decorations, that's all you need. But you want to make sure that when you put a hide in, something that they can hide in, something they can, sleep in, you have it on the top, because they do like to be high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide what decorations I'm going to use. So depending on, what you decide, are you going to do like an ocean view or ocean decor? Are you going to do kind of like a jungle decor? Are you going to do like a bedroom decor, cowboy, whatever you decide. They have to be small, but make sure that when you get the hides and stuff and the little stepping stones, and yeah, this does come in handy. And these are actually really nice because these two, they have the magnets. And I will explain why this is good. These are very, very helpful to have. She will be able to go in here and hide at night. She might make her hammock in here and just stay in here to molt, whatever the choice is. So what you want to do is that you want to decide where the hide is going to go. That's the first thing you need to put in. Basically, you start from the top, you work your way down. Or work your way down, work to the top. Makes no difference, but you want to make sure you have everything set. So in this case, even with this moss, this will still stay in place, and that's why I like the magnets. They stay, they don't fall on me or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little, and these actually do come with the decor, so they're not very big. You could probably get these by themselves if you ever decide to get more stuff. Or if you decide to get, little decors like this teddy bear or something else that does not really stay in place, you can take one of these little magnets, glue it onto the bottom or to the side, and you can decide where it's going to be and it won't move or it won't fall over. So that's always a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down a little bit. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to put this kind of in the middle, but on the top. So what I'm going to do, and you want to make sure that when you do the moss, you want to go ahead and put it all the way up to the top. So I'm going to put the little hide. Oops. And yeah, these magnets do like to kind of jump off you if you're not careful. So there's the magnet. And the one thing I have to say about magnets is that they are a lot nicer. Reason I'm saying that is because, let's say you have a water dish. Well, a water dish can spill, gets all over, yada, yada, yada. Or if you have it with a magnet, it makes it easier when it's time to refill. So I actually have and I don't have it with me, but it's kind of like a little bottle. Oops, a little bottle like this, little spray bottle. More like the top. Oops. Something like this. And it's not very big. They don't need a huge water dish. But the thing is that this, you turn it over, and it has 3 little areas where the water comes out. The reason I say magnets are the best is because I could put this anywhere inside, and when I'm ready to refill it, it's easier just to take the whole thing out. So I can, just like with this, I could just remove the bottom or the back, and I can just go ahead and take the water bottle out, refill it, and put it back in, and there you go. It does make it a lot easier when you can deal with something like that. A lot easier. So I was going to use this, but I don't think I am now. Go ahead and move that. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down because you definitely want to keep the areas to where you have to connect it empty. So that's something you want to think about. So then we come to a little platform. These platforms actually came with the cage. And like I'll leave the description and you can choose from a couple of different ones. A lot of them, if you get the kits, they do come with decor and they do have the magnets. So since I'm doing this, I'm going to turn this over. When it comes to hide places, you have the hide up on the top. You want to put this, let me move this down so you can see. Kind of not too high, but not too low. So I'm going to take another magnet and I'm going to put this on this side. I'm going to decide where I want it. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in. So once you decide, and that is actually the one type of magnet, what happened to the magnets I was going to use? Oh, yeah. Be careful because I do have a little mic here and it kind of got stuck on the mic. So go ahead, decide where you want the decor. Do not cover up the vents. I will say that. A lot of people kind of mess up there. They cover some of it and never ends well. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put the little platform in where I want it. And I'll show you. And there you go. So kind of move this up some. And of course you can always move it with the magnet and it just sits in one spot. So this is what it's looking like right now. All green foliage with a hide and a little platform. So now, if you decide to use something like this, that's fine. This is basically just like from when I had a hamster. You know, I kept some of this stuff just because you never know, you might want to use it in the future. If you decide to use something like this, what you want to do is keep it on the bottom, but this one is actually too big. Of course, you can kind of have it on the side too, but this is way, way too big for this, so I'm not going to use that. So far, so good. They do like to stick on your nails, so yeah, that's what you have to watch for. Okay, now, once you have the moss in, go with trees. Trees are one of the best things that you could put in. It's not just for decor, it's for climbing. So if they decide, okay, well, I'm on the floor of the cage, I'm hunting a cricket, I want to get back to my hide. They do jump. They jump, I believe it's 30 to 40 times their actual size. Very, very cool to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this kind of in the middle. In the middle, but in the back. See, you can't really, the focus here is like really bad. I don't know why. Sometimes it just does not want to focus, right? I got to kind of, okay, there we go. So that's where the tree is. So I'm going to go ahead, push it down, make sure it stays in place. And then, of course, I have the little glass teddy bear. These are really nice, mostly just for decoration. They are not really needed, but decor, always a good thing to have. Go ahead and put him in. Okay. And there you have it. Cute little teddy bear. Trying to get this into focus once again. I don't know why it's kind of looking like this, but I will work on that, of course. Yeah. Okay, well. Oh, jeez. This video is going on 40 minutes already. Bobblehead. Just because it's kind of like a fun thing. You know, I always think, well, if it lands on it, the head will move, and it's kind of like a little carnival ride. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the other side right across from the teddy bear. And then my favorite, of course, would be these little tiny seashells. And this actually came with it. With these, if you wanted to put a magnet in it, these are actually really good because they actually have a little place you can put the magnet in on one side, you can glue it in, and there you go. So what I'm going to do with this actually is I'm going to use it kind of on the top, right around here. So I'm going to just put it in and I'm going to push it. And a lot of times you might have to really push in because it will come off if you're not careful. That's my dog, don't mind him. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Oops, go ahead and push it in. And you might want to get like a tweezer or something actually for this. Because it might be a lot easier to do. I'm going to put another seashell. And I'm actually going to put this is what it looks like, on the top. So I'm just going to push it down. You know, you kind of want it to stay in one place. And you can always glue them in, but I would not advise that. Mostly because when you clean these out, you're going to have to separate them. And you don't want to do that and not be able to just take the seashell off the moss and reuse it for something else. Maybe you don't want to put it back in. You know, it's just something you want to think about. I'm going to put this other seashell right here, and this is a smaller one. Go ahead and just push it in with my finger and just kind of hope it stays. So that's probably all I'm going to be putting in this one. There is one more thing I have to put in, of course. Before I do that, I'm going to put the rest together. So I have to put the bottom in, and then I need to put the very top in. Once again, with these, the one bad thing about these is that these can break. These little squares that you put the rubber bands on, these can break if you're not careful. I've already had one side broke off on me while I was putting it together, and it's insane. You also want to make sure you put it in right, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in. Make sure everything, of course, lines up because that's something you will have to do. So I'm going to go ahead. Okay, that one side is in. Come on. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to actually take one of the rubbers off just so I can pull one side over a little bit. This is why I like these. They're easy to take on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and put the bottom in. So come on, get in there. Sometimes they can be difficult to put in just because they like to be a little smart ass piece that doesn't want to do what it's told. So go ahead and put that in and then put the other side in. And then go back and put your little rubbers on. Make sure you get everything secured. You do not want it to, pick it up and have it fall apart on you, which has happened. Lucky for me, it was empty. But that's something you have to, of course, watch out for. So you want to make sure you do all sides. So every time you have one of these little stick outs, these are the ones you want to make sure that you have secure, because this is what holds it all together. So I'm going to double check, make sure. Yes, the back, yes, this side, yes. Okay, that's good. Now, I am so close to being done. I know this is a long video. It's my first one. Don't sue me or anything like that. I'm normally watching anime, so this is, this is something I do for fun. Um, and actually, right now, my little baby is crawling around, and she's really, really cute. She's just a baby, so she is not full grown. She is a female. Um, because she's not full grown, she can actually grow into this no problem. When you do a rehousing, number one important thing to do, because I do have one smaller than her, and I can't put them in this kind of a cage right now. Reason being, these vents on the side, they are open. And if you have a teeny, teeny, tiny little baby, they can escape these. Not a fun thing to do. So you want to make sure that it is secure every way, shape, and form. Okay, so what did I do? Oh, here's the top. So this is the top. With these kinds of tops, I'm iffy on. And the reason is basically because of these. Now, this is what locks it in place. Now, they are nice to have, but they break easy. So easy. Compared to these little side, like I said, these break too, but these break easily. So you have a harder time breaking the actual enclosure than you do with this. So yeah, I don't like these cages per se, but it's been working out. I've had no problems. Just one kind of got me. So with this, what you want to do is, of course, make sure, because this little latch is what locks it into place. So make sure that this is facing up, okay? And it's in the front. Your opening is your front. You want that in the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put one side in. And with these, they are not easy to do. Okay, so that's one side kind of in. That's the back end. Okay, it's in. That was so easy. I think that's the easiest I've ever had with this. I'm not saying something because I have a couple of these. So I'm going to go ahead and put my little bands on each side, since I don't want her escaping. Put one in the back. And so far, so good. It's looking really, really nice. A little comfy. Now, if you want to put just greenery, you can do that too. These are basically from a bigger decoration I got at PetSmart, and I just pull them off, and you can always put them back on. Just stick them in a hole on the original, and there you go. But these are nice because these actually stay up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to put anything else in here. I do have one more little seashell. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the top. Come on. You got to stay in place for my sake. Okay. And we are done decorating. So, this is the back. And if you want to do the sides, you can. And of course, The front has everything it needs. A hide, a little platform, and some little decorations. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure, and I do have these other decorations, just like a little rattle. I got this at college, and I don't know, I just kept it. Um, you can also use like little rubber fish. This is actually for stress, so you kind of just push it back and forth, and it's really fun to mess with. Um, even if you wanted to do something like this, these are actually really good to have. And that's these little plants. You can't do it with this particular one, but with the really, really big ones, you can just pull these out and then put them back in, like I was saying. So you can put this on the bottom, and that's it. A cage this big, you're not going to be able to fit very much in. I wish I had a bigger cage because this would have been a really, really nice little hide. I got this from Goodwill. So if you ever go to Goodwill, if you ever go to any place, even a toy store, Walmart, get little accessories, accessorize your cage. You want it to look good. You want it to be a comfortable space for them. But you also want something that's going to be an eye opener when someone comes over. Okay, so that's going to be it. Make sure you do have magnets. You make sure you have them all together. And all I do is I take one and I just put them over the others and kind of just go ahead and get together. So that's always a helpful thing. Now, before I actually put, where did it go? Oh, almost forgot the most important. The front. You want to make sure that you get every piece of it in. It's a good thing I actually remembered I needed to put this in. You can't have it open, of course. It would be nice, but no, you can't do that. Make sure, of course, with these, because you do have the holes, and that little lock actually goes into those holes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Come on. Get in there. Get in there. Okay, there we go. Another thing about these cages that I kind of like and dislike is how the doors open and close. So as you can see, this one opens down. And when you close it, you lift it up, make sure it goes into those sides. So you kind of have to push it in. And then that little lock is what closes it up so it doesn't open. I like these kinds of doors because they're easy to deal with. But on the other hand, they're a pain when it comes to opening and closing, just because when I open this, it doesn't open all the way, which in a way is good, which is why I like it. But if you're trying to reach in there to fit, like a decoration, to open it up to feed or water, I don't know, it's just a pet peeve of mine, I guess, I don't know. So the last thing I'm going to do before I house her is I want to take these little I can't talk now, these little branches out, and I'm going to use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the door, and because I have crickets in here, it's not going to work. What a shame. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open the whole cage. Make sure it's on something stable, of course. And just take what you need out and then just put it back on. So these came with these enclosures. This is actually a kit that I got from PetSmart. Um, so they're kind of okay in terms of size for a baby, but I've been having a problem with the doors because it does not want to go up and down completely. And it comes out and then you can't get it in. So I'm going to take these little branches that came with it. And I'm going to go ahead, put this down. See if maybe it can focus on its own. And I'm just going to put these in on the sides. So when you put something like this in, kind of have it in at an angle. In this case, you might even want to put it inside of the moss just to get it to stay. In this case, I think I'm going to put this one kind of behind the little teddy bear. Um, you know, that way it stays in place, but it has that little extra branch that comes out, as you can see here. Just kind of push it in. That way it can just have a nice little place to hang out. Oops. Looks like a little seashell fell. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back where I want it. And like I said, probably would want to use a magnet for these, just because magnets are easier to deal with. Do not put a magnet inside of the cage. Magnets like these, if they fall on your baby, can kill them. I've already seen it on Facebook a few times. Oh my God, my tarantula is dying because a magnet ended up falling on top of it. So if you want to use it inside, use it on the seashells, use them inside, and make sure that it's on the inside so it can knock it out. Best way to do that, of course, is just a little bit of glue, and that's pretty much all you need. So I'm going to go ahead and put these back in. Once again, they do not apparently like to stay in for whatever reason. So this is where tweezers come in. And I kind of forgot my tweezers, so I'll have to just do it by hand and hope that it works. Okay, there we go. Now, just stay put. Okay, it looks like it is. So I'll go ahead and put that branch in. This is the other one. And I'll just kind of do like a V shape. That way they have one on either side. And make sure that outside branch is what you actually have off the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one right behind that little bobblehead and right next to the tree. Kind of push it in underneath the platform. Okay, there we go. Whew. Fun or what, guys? Okay, and then of course make sure that everything. Oh, I forgot 2 rubber bands. So go ahead and 3. I take that back. That's why do not add more to your little pile when you put these together. Once you have the amount, put the others away immediately. Otherwise, it's gonna be like, okay, where does this go? I don't see any places. So these are always good to have. Go ahead and put that down. So this one is not from Amazon because it's giving me so much trouble. This is the one I got at the pet store. Um, I got one more, and that's up in front. And there we go. So now we have a home meant for a nice little jumping spider. Go ahead and put this back up. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how to zoom in and out on this yet, and it's been an hour, so I'm just going to finish up. Now, when it comes to rehoming your little baby, there are things you have to do. Okay, number one, like I said, spraying. Do not spray inside unless you don't mind not being able to see your pet. Now, if you are the kind that cleans once a week, then I would say, okay, it's not a big deal. You know, that's up to you. I don't do it though because I happen to like to see. And with this, you don't really have to clean it every week, every month. Um, that's another thing I like about using moss like this. Get this little tree out. Don't mind him. That's just my dog again being a pain. So moss like this is really, really nice. When you need the way you find out if you need to really clean their cage, of course, is if you have something like this and you see little white spots. Their poop is white. So if you see a lot of white, go ahead and clean it out. Um, what I like about this is that it would just be on individual pieces, so you can just go ahead, take your tweezers, take the individual strands out, that's dirty, and there you go. And these are actually really, really cheap to get too. And it will last a long time. And it does hold moisture. So um, that's one of the reasons why I don't like dirt. I can't tell when a really, really good cleaning needs to be done. So now we are going to rehome my little baby. So I'll put this down a little bit. And I'm going to try to get her on her little platform. So I'm going to move this over. And now I have not worked with her. She is brand new. I got her last night. So she's probably not used to people. In terms of that, the best way to do when you have a new one, a new little Regal jumping, is that when you open a cage, just put your finger in and just see what it does. Eventually, it will trust you. It will come to you. It's going to take time. Try feeding it by hand. That's what a lot of people do. Um, with my Charlotte, I got her November 5th, 2025. Took about a month to a month and a half before she would even go on my finger. She has not taken food from me yet by hand. So I don't know how she is going to react. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this take this top off. Yes, they should intercept it. Okay, there we go. Make sure when you do something like this, you're able to see where your little baby is because they are extremely fast. So if they end up getting away, yeah, you're pretty much in trouble. My little baby Charlotte, I had her out one night and she got away from me. And I'm like, oh shit, I just lost my baby. What am I going to do? Not a very good night. I was up most of the night. And the next morning, I get up and she's crawling on the ceiling. I just happened to look up and I see something moving, and it was her. So, lots of times, chances of getting them back are slim to none. So, keep it up, keep it on the bottom. She's actually crawling on the bottom right now. I'm going to stick my hand in and I'm just going to see what she does. If she will come to my finger, oh, she is so adorable. Hey there, little Celeste. How are you doing? Oh, so she's not going to come to me, and she's actually crawling out, so I'm just going to kind of put the whole bottom in her new cage, in her new home. And I'm just going to wait until she decides to come out. Um, yeah, that's it. That's it. Come on. Come on, baby. Oh, and there she is. Okay, I'm going to put this down. Kind of close the. Okay. I don't know if you can. I do not like that this is not zooming right. But she is actually. Oh, she just jumped. No, it's blurring. She's already jumping up. Looks like she is heading to her hide to check it out. When you have a new one, stick your finger in and see if you can get her to come to your finger. Come on. Are you going to come out? And yes, I do talk to my babies.
They did get it on fourth down, so Green Bay got the ball.
I do talk to them just so they get to know your voice, and whatnot. But it doesn't look like she is ready to come to me. You gonna come to me? Hmm? And you could kind of follow her around and kind of get used to your finger. I did this with my Charlotte, and I just took my finger in every day for 10-15 minutes. Followed her around and just wait to see what happens. See what happens. Gonna come. Oh, oh. No, no. Well, she's on her little bobble. See if I can get a visual on her. I swear I need a new way to do this. But she's actually on her little bobblehead. So she's in a new home, which is good. So yeah, she's in a new home. Go ahead, I'm gonna close it up, lock it up, get her a water dish, and she's already eaten, so I don't have to worry about that. And there you go. That is how you do it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and like I said, it's my first one, so I was probably babbling a lot. Let me know what you think in the comments. I can't wait to see what people say. Should be interesting, if anything. So, yeah. Denise signing off. Have fun. See you later.